Hi friends and fellow intuitive academics. My name is Shelley and I draw from my lived experience as a PhD and my intuition to offer you guidance as students on your academic journey. And I'm really excited to do this reading today. I had the idea that I really wanted to draw from the winter solstice energy to offer you guidance in welcoming either any of these aspects associated with the winter solstice or all of the aspects, depending on which piles you choose, into your academic journey. So these are peace, love, light, and unity. And so to do this, I'm going to draw 4 cards and create 4 different piles, which are 4 different messages. And you can use your intuition to see which pile you're most drawn to by the card, the text, or the image, or the characteristic or quality that's associated with it. I get really into winter solstice every year because I am a winter solstice baby, and I really feel kind of connected to that energy of it being the shortest day of the year for those of us kind of familiar with the northern hemisphere. The shortest day, the longest night, the kind of like makes it feel a bit colder compared to other days, but it's also the day that we boomerang back into the days that get longer towards the summer solstice, which would be the longest day of the year, the most sun. So that's why it's associated with kind of this turning point of going back towards light and towards hope, remembering the seasonality of things and the temporality of things, and kind of remembering that we're always in this cycle. And even though it's the coldest or the darkest day of the year, tomorrow's going to be a little bit brighter. So that's kind of the essential energy that's often associated with winter solstice, and I'm bringing that to you today in this reading. So let's go ahead and start with finding what our 4 piles will be. So the first pile will be the card for peace, if you're looking for more peace in your academic journey. We'll just go ahead and start. That will be the crow and dogwood with intelligence. If you're looking for more love, this can be self-love or love for the project or love in the journey. You have the marten and foxglove with mischief. Interesting. If you're looking for more light, however you interpret that, it could be joy or lightfulness. It could be illumination. You have the cat and lavender with independence. And then last, if you're looking for more unity or oneness, however you interpret it in your academic journey, this could be between you and the project, or between you and the broader goals of your studies, or universally, it's up to you. This will be the card that we're guided by. The frog and lotus with metamorphosis. Okay, so I'll give you a second to feel out your intuition into which pile or piles are drawing you towards them. You can even pause the video if you need more time, and then I'll see you in one, if not more, of those piles in a bit. Hello, peace group. So you were drawn to the crow and dogwood with the theme of intelligence. And this also has the number 16 in it, if that means anything to you. So it's interesting. I was reading up a bit on the description from the deck of the crow and dogwood, and I was reminded, it didn't come up in the description, but I was reminded that crows are often associated with spiritual guidance, maybe even ancestral guidance, and in some interpretations or cultures, it can be seen as kind of a like a harbinger of doom or a message of doom, but in others it's a message of not being alone, of having guidance around you. But I do want to share the book's elaboration on the card because it relates directly to kind of career and success and intelligence, which is what got you here into academia in the first place. So it says the crow is an incredibly intelligent bird associated with the power of foresight and the ability to use tools. So you also are sensitive. You have some psychic abilities that you draw from in your work. Today, it's most often used to signify darkness and foreboding, but modern depictions rarely do the crow justice. According to Norse folklore, the crow is a powerfully positive symbol meant to remind us of our skills and resources. So remember that you have an incredible amount of skills and resources, including your own foresight, your own powers, your own clarity of thought and intelligence. It says you are capable of solving any problem. Like the crow, the dogwood, the flower, has a somewhat confused public image. Its beautiful light-colored petals convey gentleness and whimsy. Few know that its hard bark and strong frame make it an uncommonly durable tree, able to withstand even the harshest weather. And so there's advice here saying that you have the tools to fulfill your goals and solve any problem. You only need to look inward to find the wisdom and strength. You also might feel like a fraud or imposter, but the crow is here to remind you of your intelligence, the dogwood of your strength. Your accomplishments are all your own, and you deserve the success that you achieve. And I feel very strongly that this message needs to be heard in this pile, that you deserve the success you've achieved. You might be suffering from imposter syndrome. You actually have incredible talent within you, and you're kind of confusing that with being an imposter. So remember what you're knowledgeable about, and remember what your creative or professional goals are and the steps to accomplish that. I'm also feeling from this pile already, so relating it back to the message of peace, that there might be an element of inner peace that needs to be attended to here. Maybe there's some kind of contradictions, inner turmoil. Also, the word misunderstood or misunderstanding comes up to me because of the descriptions in the card, that the crow looks like a foreboding character, but actually it can be a very powerful and positive message or qualities to it. Same with the dogwood. It looks very gentle and whimsical, but there's a strength to the bark that goes undetected. And I feel that there's some kind of conflict between what you've been told by society about you and what you know to be true about yourself, and you're kind of starting to lose faith or support or strength in what you do know about yourself, the powerful qualities to you. And so I'm already starting to see a little bit of a need to go inward first to find peace, and then manifest it outwardly. So I'm going to next draw from this deck a single card and see what further messages that brings to us. So you have the list here, and I'm just going to keep going actually and get the full picture together before we go any further. Let's see. for this one, you have the Nine of Wands. It would take a hell of a lot more to defeat you. Interesting. So there's a lot of strength, a lot of inner strength, wounds, and kind of making a last stand that's coming through. Okay, and last card for guidance. Let's see, how can our group welcome peace into their academic journey? Waxing crescent moon. This looks beautiful. It looks like the start of a new beginning. Okay, so I took a moment to read the descriptions of all of these cards, just to incorporate the intention, the original intention infused into the card, the image's meaning as written by the deck authors. And some really interesting kind of synchronicities were coming in. So overall, there was a story across the three of emerging from the darkness and seeing the light, which is exactly what the winter solstice is all about, and it's kind of beautiful. So we already started with the message that you need to look at the contradictions, the inner turmoil, and recognize your true power, intelligence, and strength. You're actually much stronger than you think and others think. You aren't as appearances show. The list is actually the equivalent of the judgment card, and this happens just before a cycle completion in the world card. And so it can be a lot about something about, like, you know, like karmic tallying, or you know, accounting for what wrong you've done, what good you've done, what wrong has been done to you. And there was an interesting message here about that this can also mean self-judgment. So you could be very harshly critical of yourself. And I know that this happens a lot as grad students, especially if we're entering from marginal positions into academia. There can be a lot of imposter syndrome, a lot of self-judgment, and harsh inner critic at play. I feel that that's coming through for you. There's a lot on you. And we come to the Nine of Wands, and that tends to be the message of the Nine of Wands, which is like typically a person with the like a barricade of wands, holding a wand. Oh, sorry, the Nine of Wands. And yeah, so that brings us to the Nine of Wands, which is the message of kind of like the wounded warrior, the person who's making their last stand, but they're not going to know defeat. This is the last moment before their victory. And so you see, like, it's very kind of unheroic, right? It takes a lot. All the candles are burned out to withstand that much. She's been wounded, and it's a very soulful kind of moment, looking at the last candle for guidance, looking at light for hope, even if it's small. And so you're very much feeling burned out, kind of at the end of your energy, like depleted, energetically and emotionally. So times have been pretty rough for you, and the inward contribution to that is a big part of it. And then we last get to the waxing crescent moon, which is kind of a beautiful message of hope and transitioning as a cycle back from the darkness into light. That's kind of the message between the transition of the waxing crescent moon. I actually want to bring that one up again because I felt that was beautiful to like round out this whole set of cards that you got. And it said, I let my curiosity lead the way. Gently emerging from the darkness, the waxing crescent moon is the growing light that marks the beginning of a new cycle. That's very on point with what we're talking about in the winter solstice. And so you should definitely harness this winter solstice energy. You're very clearly getting the message that winter solstice can be good for you finding your peace. Most especially your inner peace is the first thing that you can attain into integrating more peace into your academic journey. So I would suggest, dig into this winter solstice, kind of look up different rituals that appeal to you, especially self-care, winter solstice rituals. That would be really good for you. The time of rebirth calls upon your innate childlike wonder, beckoning you to look at the world with fresh eyes. Remember the way the world looked when you were young? Surprises could be found around each corner, as curiosity guided your every move. It's almost like go back to that time before you developed the inner critic, when you kind of like loved yourself unconditionally, you were led by your curiosity and love for the world. Go back to that, because there was a time, and that's still within you. Everyday magic surrounds you. Awaken to the wonder that has been right in front of you all along. Allow yourself to find childlike curiosity at every opportunity, so that you might more readily recall how wild and wondrous this world is. It's time to reemerge and collect evidence of life's cyclical magic through a commitment to curiosity. And just think about what has sparked your curiosity lately. It can seem frivolous. It could be like a crafting workshop, or like a hike. Whatever has sparked a curiosity in you, follow that. That will be so good for you as you move away from the darkness into this more lighthearted cycle. And that, my friends, is your message for finding inner peace, integrating peace into your academic journey at this time during the winter solstice. I hope you harness that energy. Please like if this resonated with you, and subscribe. I would love to see you again back in these readings. Feel free to comment if you want to share your experience, what you've been going through at the cycle. And with that, sending you lots of light and love, and hoping that you continue to work with love, my dear fellow intuitive academic. Hello, love group. So you were attracted to the Martin and Foxglove with the phrase mischief and or the quality of welcoming love into your academic journey a bit more. So let me first find the Martin. So let me first start with reading you the author's interpretation or intention of the card, and see what starting points that gives us on your message for welcoming love. Okay, the Martin and the Foxglove represents the archetypal trickster, the lighthearted mischief maker, the lover of chaos and spontaneity. Martins are a type of weasel known for their curiosity, quick movements, and occasional aggression. Romanian folklore tells of martins playing tricks on horses, braiding their manes in the night, wow, so they wake to a tangled mess of hair in the morning. And foxgloves are said to be the homes of fairies, another elusive and mischievous creature. For this reason, they are associated with riddles and secrecy. Pay attention to opportunities for spontaneity, travel, and playfulness. A bit of lighthearted mischief can, so long as it doesn't hurt anyone, can be healthy. The reverse, the shadow side, is beware of others' dishonesty. A trick or scam may be afoot. But since this is a message about welcoming love into your world as you go through on this academic journey, I believe this is not the message for you today. It's the upright, looking for opportunities for spontaneity, travel, and playfulness. Do I embrace my spontaneity as a student? Can I learn to let go and make room in my life for more adventure, even though you're on this serious journey of being a student? How can you find more lighthearted approaches? How can you find more adventure during this time? Because it is a wonderfully adventurous time being a student. You're adventuring into the world of existing knowledge, as also you're embarking into the world of what's yet to be kind of known about the world. So graduate school is a very exciting time, full of possibilities, even though there's a lot of pressure on you. Don't forget that side of the journey, because it only happens once. Once you're graduated, you're going to become a professional, you're on another adventure. This is its own unique thing, and look at the people around you, the resources available to you. Maybe there's like a study abroad or some kind of exchange program that maybe you're interested in, and you don't feel like you don't want to be too spontaneous about it, but and you're thinking of your responsibilities. What's the practical answer? This message is already telling you to go for it. Just embrace the spontaneous, whatever brings more lightheartedness into your academic journey. Those are the things you should be focusing on in this cycle of your time as a student. So let's pull a few more cards and get some more guidance on how you can incorporate more love into your journey. So you have the 7 of Candles, which is the 7 of Wands. And this is a message of boundaries, but it did come out reverse. And so I'm going to say that this is letting you know that you need to let go of such rigid boundaries. And I'm going to say those are boundaries not with other people, but with yourself. You're a little bit too disciplined, which is great for success, right? But you're neglecting the other side of you. You're neglecting that journey of bringing more love into your time as a student. So this is a bit about easing the discipline on yourself when it comes to being a student, and giving yourself permission to play a little bit more, to do something that even surprises yourself, that can turn out to be something really great for your studies in the end. And the best part is that it won't be drudgery, it won't be work for you. It will be a lighthearted experience when you start to play with your work a little bit more. So let's see what else we've got from this deck coming through. We have 4 of Pentacles. Treat yourself to something shiny every now and again. So appropriate already for this message. The 4 of Pentacles energy is all about stability. This person has the energy of being responsible and saving up. Whether finances are in the mix or not, it's that card of responsibility and diligence, and that's already what we've been seeing repeated here. But the message here is to treat yourself to something shiny every now and again. It's okay once in a while. Just here and there, incorporate spontaneity. Give yourself a little weekend trip that's not going to offset your whole course, but it's going to do wonders to bring love into the process, which you do need right now in this time. You're feeling it. You're feeling the the isolation, you're feeling the strain, it doesn't need to be that hard. You can let loose a little bit and still come out of this with the achievement that you're going for. Okay, one more card before we get the whole picture here. Return to source. Oh, this is interesting. This is the first time I pulled that card. So actually I'm going to take a moment to read some of these descriptions so that we can incorporate the intended meanings by each author's deck into the reading. Okay, so I've read the interpretations from all the different booklets that came with the deck, and it's so interesting. They all align very well to create this story. So coming back to our original guidance, which is to bring more mischief, playfulness to your life, there's also the backstory, the context here of the Seven of Candles, which is a bit of isolation and fear. In the deck in the booklet I read, as it came out reversed, it could be indicating that you're holding a little bit too closely onto your anxieties and fears, and you kind of need to like defend yourself against those to have a full life, to kind of let the other parts of your life, your character come through and enjoy the journey you're on. The Four of Pentacles, the backstory here was all about a good habit of saving that kind of over time amounted into almost like a mindless habit. Like, what are you actually? It became like a nervousness, that's the word, of saving for a rainy day, saving for an unexpected event. Yet life is kind of like passing by as she's doing that. And so you see a confluence of the anxiety and nervousness here. And then when you got to the final advice, return to source, I'm going to read that because it kind of pulls everything together really nicely, and it's all about letting go of what doesn't serve you anymore. And so some of these good habits, like discipline, things that have gotten you far in your success as a student, are actually kind of holding you back from incorporating more love into the experience, more enjoyment. Um, and so let me read that really quick to you so you can see that. The theme is letting go allows me to begin anew. So anew with more lightheartedness and playfulness. Completions and endings hold a unique energy. As the final stage in the never-ending cycle of life, death is the last letting go of a life experience. This is the process that brings any creative endeavor to a close. So to be clear, it's not necessarily physical death, but it could be death of like a certain stage or a habit that you've developed in your life. After a time of inspiration, growth, and sharing your gifts, you are being asked to let go of that which has run its course. That stands out as the most important to me. What has run its course? What do you not need anymore? You know? Starting anew. If something has lost its vital force, but you have kept holding on to it, now is the time to bless and disconnect from it. Give it a proper celebration and burial. The magic of this stage lies in keeping the faith and belief that in death we return to source. A new conception, pregnancy, and birth await you. Again, doesn't need to be literal physical pregnancy and birth unless you're after that. It could be with ideas, with new communities you join, with your project, a new idea. It can even be with new romantic love, if that's why you chose this pile and that's what you're looking for. It could be like a new stage with romantic love you're already involved in. So a lot of what's going to bring you to that next beautiful step is letting go of the discipline, the anxieties. A discipline, I would say, you don't need to like shed all your discipline. It's more about looking at for the disciplinary habits you have that are born out of fear and anxieties over what might happen, planning for the future kind of anxiously. That's the thing that you need to let go of here, not just discipline in general. You are opening up a portal to a new and vibrant endeavors by releasing what has fulfilled its purpose. You can rest and look forward to fresh possibilities. But right now, you must fully acknowledge the conclusion of this present adventure with gratitude and reverence, and then disengage to honor the ever ongoing cyclical process. So, thinking of this not as eternal characteristics, but you know, these were blessings in your life for the time that you needed them. They got you this far. They served their purpose, but it is time for them to go now. And thinking of these as a part of a cycle, not again an eternal characteristics of you. And you're going to kind of fall in to the next set of characteristics that are ready to kind of come forth in this new stage of your life. So you can think about what in my life am I no longer inspired by, but continue to put my time and efforts towards. You know, what is all your time and energy going into, but you don't feel like it's serving you in any way. Follow your sense, your feeling, your intuition on that. That will give you some clues as to what needs to be let go now, what you don't look forward to, but you still have a habit of doing. You can find ways to let go of that because it's going to open up the space for something beautiful to take its place. And so you have a really beautiful message here. Again, coming to the theme of cycles and the winter solstice, this is a very exciting time for you to open yourself to love by letting go of fear and anxieties, habits that you've had, letting go of them lovingly, sending them on their way so that you can bring in the next set of qualities and characteristics and stage of your life. So wishing you lots of light and love on that step of your journey, And please continue to work with love as well, my dear intuitive academic. If you resonated with this reading, please hit the like button. Please also subscribe, because I would love to see you again, send you more messages. And if you have some thoughts or stories that you want to add to the comments section, please do that as well. And I will definitely see you in the next reading. Hi, light group. So you were drawn to the cat and lavender card with independence, and it's the number 1, which I think is really interesting for light. We have a light, the candle here as well, and number 1 is kind of like a leadership type card, right? So I feel the message of light being important to welcome into your academic journey, to become the leader that you need to be as an academic. The idea that I'm trying to communicate here is that you entered academia to gain the skills to become a leader in some sort of area, and that's what's happening now at the winter solstice. And your guidance can be to welcome light into your life, especially at the winter solstice, as we're turning from the darker times of the year, or the shorter and shorter days, to the growing longer and longer days. Light being a significant part of that cyclical process until the summer solstice in June. Yeah, so kind of already associating light with leadership in this pile. And so I was also reading the book's interpretation of the cat and the lavender with independence, and I want to share that with you as well. It says, cats are cunning, clever, and independent. Often loners, they represent self-reliance, while lavender's scent brings soothing comfort. Its Victorian association with distrust reminds us to look inward, relying on our own instincts and inner resources. You can seek your full potential without depending on validation from others. Power, resourcefulness, and potential are key words to remember. How can I learn to trust myself? What traits do I possess that I can rely on? So a lot of this spoke to me about cultivating an awareness of and a trust for your inner light, how you guide yourself through everything, and then in turn guide others. So cultivating your inner light seems to be an important message already coming through. So let's get some more cards now to kind of expand on that message and see what else is in there. So how can this group welcome light into their academic journey? So you have the 8 of Cups here, the 8 of Good Cheer. This is an interesting depiction of the 8 of Cups. So typically, it's reminding me a lot of the 7 of Cups, in which you have a lot of choices to decide between. And you need to like engage your own intuition, your own inner guidance to discern the right choice. But the 8 of Cups is actually about leaving a situation, you know, that you had hoped would turn out a certain way, and you have all these cups associated with that situation, but it turns out that you end up deciding to leave that to go on your journey towards the 9 of Cups, which is the fulfillment aspect in the cups sequence. So you can see, as his jacket on, it kind of looks like he's zipping his jacket up, getting ready to leave. He has his hat on. He's looking out the door. So it's an interesting, I won't say weird, interesting combination of having all this abundance of good cheer around. Looks like he's in a bar, but he's opting to leave. It's not the right thing for him. I'm almost thinking like he wants to go and look for the good cheer at home, in a home setting, maybe at a party at a friend's house, rather than in a bar, around the holidays with some strangers. Maybe he was self-isolating, thought that he could get his cheer with strangers on his own, but it's not doing it for him. He's not fully satisfied. I kind of want to see what the 9 of good cheer, because that would be the next step in the sequence. What is he aiming for there? And that might give us some message as to why he's leaving the situation, and of course why you might be leaving a certain situation to bring more light. Okay, so the 9 of good cheer is this card. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's like she's also alone, but it's after, like, it looks like a very, how would I want to say, like, lively party. There's multiple cups here, 9 cups most likely. So many, like, loved ones around, whereas he has these full cups with strangers, no one around. He might be thinking of, like, joining in on this sort of gathering instead. So this is definitely like an emotional, matters of the heart kind of fulfillment in the 9 of Cups. That's kind of what you're going towards. It says here, like, overflowing cups. So yeah, that's kind of part of your need, or your direction towards cultivating your inner light during this winter solstice time, is getting to the people you love, finding the celebration that feels right to you. Even though this looks great, you're kind of looking towards something else. Like, this looks great on paper, this looks great on social media, right? But it's not in your heart. There's something else in your heart. It might not be as picturesque, might be a table full of empty glasses, but that's where your heart is. So you are leaving something behind to be in that light a bit more. Okay, so let's see from our next deck how can add to the message. How can our group welcome more light during this winter solstice into their academic journey? So you have the Queen of Swords with the affirmation, don't you dare lower your voice for anyone. So voice is really important here. Interesting. And you have a little frog there. So if you were drawn to the Unity pile, which has a frog, there might be a message there for you, which we'll be doing next. So I see, look, she's set up a book club, and it's like she's waiting for everyone to arrive, but she's the queen of the book club. It looks like she has something to say. There's going to be maybe like 3 more visitors, and but I also have the feeling that she's not going to dominate. She's going to let the conversation flow, but she's not going to, like, hold back for anyone, because this is her domain, this is her kingdom, and she's a very balanced and honest ruler in this kingdom of thought. Mostly this is I feel like often in academic readings we get the King and Queen of Swords, because this is about mastery over mental space, like thoughts, clarity, truth, honesty, balance in perception, everything that we engage with as academics. So this is such a star card to get, and especially I'm thinking in relationship to the cat in lavender, I feel such a strong connection here, like powerful connection. Look, they almost look similar the way they're like gazing straight at through the card. And it's like you're leaving something behind. Maybe you're leaving like self-doubts behind to embrace this like Queen of Swords energy. Yeah, let's just get one more card and then see a fuller picture. Solar eclipse. Interesting. So I'm going to read this one really quick to see what it gives us. Solar eclipse, I create my own reality. That feels very connected to all of the cards, most especially so in this one. And you see her kind of like creating the book club, creating her own reality and driving it, you know, like she created this reality. It's her kingdom. She's not going to let someone else come in and like alter that reality. She's the one still in control of it. The striking visual experience of a solar eclipse can make any earthling pause in their tracks. While not safe to look at directly, the light cast by the moon's shadow crossing in front of the sun creates a supernatural and humbling experience. Suddenly, it's obvious how much you rely on the sun's light. This is an initiation, a portal through which you can pass to a new reality simply by changing your perspective. A new, more aligned view and experience of life beckons you. Habitual patterns and belief systems rooted in fear will not serve you right now. It's time to look at your situation with fresh and loving eyes. Yeah, this is very much what I was trying to communicate before. Leaving behind habits and habitual patterns and belief systems that are rooted in fear. That's not really where your light is at. Those things need to be left behind. I mean, it's your choice, of course, but you can opt to leave those things behind to embrace more light in your academic journey, which is, if you're here, that's one of the major kind of pulls you're having right now. And this is interesting to see the solar eclipse. This is the light group, because let's see. Moon shadow. It's like your light has been blocked by the moon's shadow, by some shadow in your life, and you're getting kind of like that very intense version of feeling a blocked light, of feeling the shadow over the entire of your sun, your light. But the card is explaining that this is just a portal. This is kind of like the apex of that shadow coming over, and you realize that you can do without that shadow. You can welcome this full vibrance of the light into your life and your academic journey. So some of the words that are standing out to me, a more aligned view and perspective. And we talked about perspective here. Queen of Swords being the queen of like clarity, truth, and perspective, and light playing a role in that for you. And specifically, as I said, inner light, cultivating that, and let the eclipse recede and let the light grow as you transit through the winter solstice. So if there's like some kind of winter solstice ritual online or meditation, guided meditation somewhere to do with the light specifically, and there should be a lot, because winter solstice is all about transiting back into like longer days. It's the longest night, shortest day of the year, so there's a lot of parallel messages coming through with the solar eclipse. That might be really good for you to focus on. And I feel a lot of hope in my heart right now. Suddenly I just felt like these like bubbles, like champagne bubbles, like this is really exciting. This is like we're leaving this behind, and I'm really excited for you that your light is going to start shining brighter and brighter. You see, it looks like kind of like dawning here. It's just going to get brighter and brighter, and you're going to be able to lead yourself first, then lead others, like in the book club, through that light. That light is going to be so strong. Yeah, and the perspective change with welcoming the inner light is how you're going to feel this. Allow your inner knowledge again, to guide you and at all times. Yeah, another inward trust of self-reliance, inward knowledge to guide you. Whether by walking a mile in another's shoes, the only thing that needs to change at this moment is your view. Whether by walking a mile in another's shoes or doing a forward bend to literally turn things upside down, seek out ways to create a unique perception shift and open to your highest potential. What is a habitual thought pattern I carry? How can I reframe it to better serve my growth? That's so interesting. So this is also making me think of the Fool card, which is a 0, which is like a transit period as you're entering a new journey. And the 1 card is like taking that first step on the journey, taking that initiation, that leadership, like embracing the challenge, accepting the challenge, something like that, accepting the new path. And so you're very much in this time where it's up to you, but it's like the time is right to let go of those habits of fear and self-doubt and distrust of yourself, and just like leap in like the Fool and just fully have faith, like have full trust in yourself, blind trust, and see where that goes. You know, day by day, as you transit through the winter solstice, you'll start to gain more and more trust over time with yourself. Which, trust me, it sounds not like the biggest challenge of your life, but it is a challenge. It's almost like working out. Like, you need to develop trust for your own self day by day, just like with any other person. I keep gravitating to the closed eyes and the hawk or the eagle. So I feel the need to say something about this here. And like the eagle looks like it has a sun marking on its back. And so I really feel like this person is going inward, connecting to their intuition. And eagles can represent ancestors, like ancestor guidance. So your inner guidance, your inner light is you, your inner self, your higher self, however you want to understand it. But it's also your ancestors, however you or whoever you connect with, whether that's an ancestor that you knew or not. I discovered that I was connecting to an ancestor that I never met in my life. She's too far generations and countries removed. So that might be an interesting part of this journey. If whether you already know who you're connecting to or not, you can simply kind of like find meditation again, quiet whatever's around you, and just simply like playfully, I would say, not seriously, but like playfully, like, you know, visualize yourself walking into a space, like a safe, like light-filled space, and just seeing who's there to greet you. That's how I met my grandma's grandma as my ancestral guide. So kind of interesting how that message came through for you as well. And once again, I'm still feeling very like giddy, very excited. Like, this is a very cool part of your journey, and full trust, full faith in yourself as you leap forward into it. And that will be the best way for you to kind of harness the winter solstice energy and welcome more light into your academic journey. Yeah, so I hope this resonated with you. Please hit the like button if it did, and you're welcome to subscribe, and I post regularly. I would love to see you back again for more messages. If you want to share your experience, you can post in the comments below. And with that, I'm sending you lots of light and wishing that you continue to work with love on your academic journey. Hello, Unity Pile. unity or oneness, however you want to think about this. The last pile in the peace, love, light, and unity reading that I felt inspired to do for winter solstice. So you've got an interesting little non-wintry type card in here, and I actually removed all of the spring to summertime looking cards because I wanted to keep it more focused on winter theme. So somehow this card snuck in here, and I think it was totally meant to be for you to come through on this message. So you have the frog and lotus with the theme of metamorphosis, and the number 6, if that's of importance to your life. And I was just reading through the interpretation from the book, which I want to share with you to see if any of this kind of helps you see your message more clearly. So this card reminds us that change is natural, rebirth is possible, and a healing balance can be achieved. The frog, developing as it does from a tiny tadpole, symbolizes transformation. The lotus flower, too, symbolizes rebirth, unfurling even amid murky waters. Going through such a change can be difficult and a struggle, but the resulting metamorphosis opens us to growth, self-acceptance, and happiness. Consider what in your life needs changing, and think about the steps you can take to achieving that change. You owe it to yourself to allow your own growth and rebirth. What can I change in myself or my life for the better? How can I be more accepting of change I cannot control? Yeah, so I'm seeing some parallels to the previous pile as well, pile on light. I recommended, a frog did kind of jump into that reading, so I recommended them to check out this pile, and I will also recommend you already to check out that pile as well. If you were drawn to it, there's probably a message there for you. I think there's a link between the light and the unity piles. Specifically in terms of growth and transformation, leaving something behind that's not serving you anymore. I feel like the message is going to be a slightly different in this growth and transformation. It feels heavily spiritual already because the lotus really signifies to me like Buddhism, the idea of rebirth, and you know, just the kind of steady, loving work towards, and like I would say it's not just individual work in Buddhism, but like unifying work, working with like your fellow souls or spirits or, you know, human beings, however you see that unity happening. It's hard for me to kind of formulate into words, but there's something about like the individual and the oneness of all that's coming through in your transformation, and it makes me feel very much like, of course, there's the tadpole to frog, the physical growth and transformation that needs to be attended to, but the spiritual as well. I think that's kind of the main message of this card that is setting us off on this pile. Okay, I'm gonna leave that there for now and start with the rest of your cards so we can get the bigger picture of how can our group welcome more unity or oneness into their academic journey. So you have the Four of Cups, Four of Good Cheer. There's a lot of like stress, meeting deadlines, doing it all yourself happening in this card. And it looks like, you know, you've run out of coffee, but you've got one coffee hidden back here, fresh coffee, and you forgot about it. Typically the Four of Cups is more like you don't have 3 spilled cups, but you have 3 cups there, and you're kind of waiting. There's another cup being offered to you. Yeah, like this one. but for now you're either not seeing it, you're distracted, or you're holding off on it. So there's something emotional or something of the heart, even something spiritual, that's being offered to you, and you're holding off. Or I want to say more strongly, the message that I'm feeling is you're not seeing the sign, you're not seeing it. There's something beautiful, cozy and warm that you want, that's being offered to you. You're just too distracted with earthly things happening. Okay, so let's bring in some more cards with that very interesting card to bring in here. Okay, fill this one. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, this is very, some synchronicities happening on this. So this is actually, the death card in the, oh, is this a death card? Wait, the broom. Tidy up your life so you can make space for something better. Yeah, it's very similar to the last pile. Letting go of what's not serving you anymore. And you have a lot here. You have a lot here, a lot going for you. But it's like you can't see it amongst all the clutter. So you just have to like clear out the clutter a bit to see like the gems that you already have, to highlight that in your life, simplifying your life. Let me just look this up really quick to verify if that's the right card, because everything's a little different in this deck. Oh, wrong book. Okay, yeah, so it is the death card. So you can think of the death card as also a rebirth card, which is why I got so excited when I saw it, because this card is also talking about rebirth, spiritual and physical rebirth. So rebirth and growth is very much a theme here, something to kind of harness as we go through the winter solstice. Let me just read this, see if this helps your message. If you're anything like the witch in this card, then you might be a collector of anything even slightly magical or interesting. Crystals, bottles, seashells, you name it. As much as you might like having so many things, they can easily become clutter if you don't do anything useful with them. And that stagnant energy can clog up every area of your life. This is your sign to clean and organize, literally or metaphorically. Say goodbye to all the people, places, things, and stories that no longer serve who you are in this particular phase of your life. By doing this, you'll open yourself up to so many amazing possibilities you didn't have room for before. So something interesting happened when I started naming, say goodbye to all the people, places, things, and stories that don't serve you anymore. I felt I needed to like swallow, and it made me pause for a long time on people. And I feel like that was for emphasis, for a message for you, that this reading is about saying goodbye to people who don't serve you in your life. And that will feel so intense to you that it will feel like you're rebirthing into a new person. So it will feel very intense, like a total transformation, a total rebirth of yourself. But it's going to be so essential and beautiful for the next step of your journey in life, also in academia, which is a huge part of your life, I'm sure. One more card to round out the message, and then we'll see how the bigger picture looks. This one seems to be coming out. Oh, mother. Oh, no. So, yeah, we just talked about needing to say goodbye to certain people in your life. And I'm wondering if this means you need to say goodbye to a parent figure, particularly a mother figure in your life. It could be like someone who not necessarily like um, a biological or family, chosen family, like mother to you. Or what I mean is like what you might typically think is the nuclear family mother. It could be someone who is more of a mother figure, like an auntie. It could be from a chosen family. I want to also say it could be someone like your academic parentage, someone who's mentoring you. That might need to be like, it might be getting stagnant where you're stuck in the child role within this relationship, and it's inhibiting you from growing. And so if there's anything in your life like that, that might be keeping you more in the space, the mental space of the family unit, and preventing you from stepping into the unity that you're seeking in whatever ways you want that unity to happen. It could be, branching out and establishing yourself in your field and feeling more unified and known within your field of expertise. It could be like, because we talked about spiritual awareness, possibly spiritual development and awakening here. It could be preventing you from connecting to your own intuition. Okay, so unfortunately my battery went out at the last few minutes. I kept talking through the finish of the reading, but from where it looks like I left off, it looks like I got pretty far anyways into the reading, so that's great. And possibly let's take the time that the camera cut off as a point of emphasis on what I was explaining there, about possibly needing to connect to your intuition, to yourself more in your journey to welcome more unity into your academic process. So what I've got to further down the line was, I think I didn't yet mention, was a really cool point that that was really interesting to me too, was that a couple points. The first was realizing that this mother card, there's two sides to the coin there. So on the one side, we're talking about cleaning up the clutter of your life so that you can find the gems that are already there, right? So cleaning up the clutter, and in your case specifically, we're talking about people, unfortunately. And this is somebody who is in a nurturing or should be in a nurturing role to you, but in the sense of unity. And as I read from the card's description, which I'll share with you again here, nurturing happens in a flow, right? From generation to generation, between members of a family, between members of a community. You are the baby receiving nurturing first, and then later you are the adult giving nurturing to others. And that's just kind of like a unifying flow through time. This kind of spoke to me of the generational aspect to that nurturing energy. And that's really what the unity is for you, is nurturing and care and nurturing as like an investment, like an altruistic sort of investment into others, into the collective, I would say. And so I wonder if I can pull out some of the main points here. The main affirmation was, I love myself unconditionally. So there's a lot of self-nurturing that is involved here too, to heal the mistreated nurturing that you were supposed to receive from someone. So you love yourself unconditionally will help heal that and help reestablish that flow of you receiving nurturing from the right people and giving nurturing as well. And that's kind of the main unity that's happening in your life for this reading, for this stage of your academic journey, but also in this winter solstice transition. You're leaving behind, keeping in with the metaphor of the winter solstice, you're leaving behind those darker energies. You're able to say goodbye to them now to embrace the lighter ones. And yeah, I wanted to re-emphasize that this is the other aspect that came in through the last couple minutes, that in the death card, this woman is sweeping out the clutter, but she has a lot of gems already. And same here, there's a lot of gems that are kind of hidden by the clutter in this card, by the distractions. And so by cleaning out the clutter of this one person specifically is what I'm seeing in your life. It could be more, but I'm really, really feeling, at least for some of you, there's one strong personality who's keeping you from this flow that needs to be kind of swept out, lovingly sent on their way. Doesn't need to be a battle. It's just more of you drawing your boundaries and deciding for yourself who deserves to be in your life. And it's just a matter of sweeping that out and reorienting to what you do have, the gems, the shells, the potions, like the magic that you already have in your life. There's room for that to take center stage. And I saw that in this card as well. I read the single tree as a single person that is already in your life. It could also be a community that you became disconnected from, like because of the spiritual awareness, a religious community it could be. But I do kind of strongly see this as a single person who's kind of just outside your door, waiting for you to open the door and like acknowledge that you want to be more in partnership with them, or accept the warmth and their overflowing cup of love that they're willing to like pour into yours. Like this is not something that you need to feel ashamed or like undeserving of. Like, they're here for you. This is part of your path. They're like ready and waiting, and it will just be so easy with them. So maybe you already know who this person is in your life. Someone you don't really think of as maybe having time for you or available to mentor you, something like that. It's actually the opposite. Like, this person is just waiting for the right time for you to initiate to work together, or open your door to them in whatever manner that looks like. So I think this is a very beautiful reading and something to, take into your heart as you transition through the winter solstice. There's a lot about connecting to love that's already there, but also being able to say goodbye to people inhibiting that connection, the healthy connection that you desire, as an essential part of reconnecting to the oneness that you're seeking. So I hope that this reading resonated with you. Please hit the like button if it did. Please subscribe. I would be happy to offer you more guidance in the upcoming year on your academic journey. If you want to share something about your story, please feel free to do so in the comments. And with that, I'm sending you lots of light on your journey ahead, and wishing that you continue to work with love. And I'll see you again soon.